I'm Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV. My channel is dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse get free and stay free. Before I get going with this video, I just want to take a moment to thank our friend Willa very much for your donation to our channel's PayPal account. Your donations to the channel's PayPal account keep the channel going and keep the channel growing. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Now, you may notice the sun is coming up over Puerto Vallarta this morning, and things may look a little bit different around here. I did move. An incredible opportunity came up. I made a very quick move. It cost me my internet for 8 days during the move. Of course, disconnection, reconnection, and Telmex, though they tend to be very efficient, they are not moving at lightning speed exactly. When I decided to move back to Puerto Vallarta, I really wanted to live downtown, and I mean downtown, and that's where I'm living now. I'm extremely happy. My new house is 3 times the size of my last house. I have tons of outdoor living space, including a huge rooftop patio, front porch, back porch. I've got a big studio space now, and my rent is half of what it had been. So everything worked out great, and I finally feel really settled. I guess anytime you make a big move like leaving Canada and coming back to Mexico, you know, you've got to expect a bit of a learning curve. And yes, I have faced a few challenges, a few hurdles, but everything is working out beautifully, and I am so happy to be here. Now, with that said, of course, the meetup is coming up soon, and holy cow, am I excited. I have received a couple emails, inquiring as to what we'll do. Let me tell you, there is no shortage of things to do, guys. It's absolutely out of control exciting. There are so many things to do, and the meetup is occurring during Independencia, which is Mexico's Independence Day. It is one of the biggest festivals of the year, certainly one of my favorite festivals, and if you have never been to Mexico during Independence Day, get it on your bucket list. It is absolutely exhilarating. How am I happy to have internet? Every time something happens to my internet, or there's a virus in my computer, or something gets hacked and I end up losing connection with you guys, I go absolutely mad. But this time I really decided to focus on my creative projects. It helped the time go very fast, and it helped me to pick up momentum. And I want to talk about creative projects today. In the last few videos, I've really been trying to encourage you to take up a creative hobby, and there's a reason for this. Though it was, for me, a bit of a personal experiment, I do have some test results in, and I want to talk to you guys about that. But something else I've been doing a lot of research on is the connection between empaths and creative people. There is a very, very real connection between empaths and creative people. And to be creative, I believe you really have to have a soul. I mean, if you're a dead, empty meat suit, if you're demonically possessed, if you're constantly plotting against people, I mean, you're just void those elements that you need to truly be inspired and to be creative. Now, there's something about empaths that I would say does not make you shine. Okay, it worked for Mother Teresa, it worked for Mahatma Gandhi, but your average empath is not really standing out and shining above and beyond the normal, person, because your empathy was probably something that you're extending to your immediate family, to coworkers. It's not a real big public thing. It's something you do in your home, in your neighborhood, in your community, where a creative person, let's say, for example, a musician, they will be out performing, they will be all eyes on them, they will stand out. Accomplished authors, writers, poets, people are attracted to their work, making them, of course, stand out and shine. When you're creating products that are desirable to other people, and they're selling or on exhibit or in art galleries or museums, the person, the artist, the creator stands out. And I'm really beginning to question if it is this aspect, this creative aspect of being an empath, that causes a person to stand out. I don't know if being forgiving really makes a person stand out in a very public way. For example, of course, I have had, issues in my home, for example, with the kids. I've always tried not to get angry with the kids because, of course, they're kids and kids do childish things. So, I've always been very empathetic of that, but that's never, got me attention, so to speak, or made me stand out, because that's something, I did with the kids, in their bedroom before bedtime, or we discussed things or talked about things, or, I hope you know where I'm going with this. Where, on the other hand, if I was doing a very public art exhibit, and it was my work on display, I'd be surrounded by photographers, there'd be lights, cameras, microphones in my face, and I would then stand out. Where I'm seeing now creativity and creative expression really causes an empath to stand out, but not for their empathy, for their creativity. I hope you guys know where I'm going with this. Now, there is one doll hanging on the wall here behind me. That is the doll that I made. And somehow, quite miraculously, and very, very much by accident, 24 years ago, I had started to create a line of dolls, a collection of dolls. I was pregnant with my son, Eddie. I already had 3 sons, and I thought there was no way in hell I was going to have a 4th son. I didn't even know it was possible to have 4 sons back to back. So I had started to create a line of dolls. I did this while I was living in Boca de Tomatland, and I was working out on my balcony, which kind of hung over the ocean. There was a little path in front, and a lot of tourists would go past there. And one day I was out there working, and the dolls were out there, and art gallery owner from the United States stopped by and said, holy cow, what are those things? I'd love to do an exhibit with those. And the ball just started rolling. Of course, I had a son. He never ended up getting the dolls that I was making for my daughter, because of course he wasn't a daughter. And the dolls ended up going on world tour with the Georgia O'Keeffe, Emily Carr, Frida Kahlo 4-year world tour, which was extremely exciting for me. So when I think about some of my creative projects and how they made me stand out, where there were newspaper stories about them. In fact, I was called one of the most innovative doll makers in modern times, and it was really quite bizarre, because of course I wasn't a doll maker, nor am I a doll maker. So to carry a title like most innovative doll maker was really quite bizarre. And certainly in certain artistic circles, that really made me stand out. And I've been really thinking about this a lot, and what creative expression has meant for me, what the extraction of my creative expression meant to me when I was still with the narcissist, and why I believe regaining your creative momentum is absolutely paramount to healing. It has had such a profound effect on me. Now, there's another sort of theory within our collective, within the Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Collective, and that is the theory that we used to be someone, and as a result of narcissistic abuse, we became someone else. And I've really been thinking about that a lot lately. To admit that I felt very, very changed by narcissistic abuse. I felt changed at my core, like there had been some sort of psychic, spiritual, emotional transformation. I will admit to that, but we discuss that within our collective. Like, now we have to accept this new person that we are as a result of the abuse. And I do get that, you have to find a healthy level of acceptance, but I was never happy about it. I always felt sort of edgy and bothered by it. Like, what do you mean I'm somebody else as a result of abuse, So what am I now, the product of abuse? And it was almost like we had to let that old person go and accept this new person that we've become as a result of abuse. Now, no one has ever discussed the possibility, the prospect of picking up old aspects of who you were, accepting how you're feeling and who you've become now, and fusing those two. And that's been part of my personal experience lately. And holy cow, is it possible? It is absolutely 100% possible to pick up, not where you left off, or pick up, at a place you had once been, but to reinvent, recreate, reestablish yourself based on your old self, but in a very new way. And for me, losing my creative vibe, losing my creative stride, almost feeling like it had been ripped away from me, just not having it anymore, has given me such an incredible sense of excitement, an incredible sense of, I can't even describe it to you. I think I'm going to compare it to how free I feel today. I guess I always saw myself as a free person, but until I experienced, mind control, total manipulation over my life, a feeling of servitude and enslavement, did I really recognize how free I am today. And I guess I took my creativity for granted. Now, having it taken away from me and now getting it back has given me such an incredible sense of gratitude, a whole different level of appreciation. I'm not sure how to describe it exactly. I'm kind of scrambling for words right now, but I feel almost reborn, like I've been able to accept what I am now, how I feel now, how I perceive the world now as a result of narcissistic abuse, which felt almost cold and edgy. But now I've been able to grab parts of who I used to be, and I've been able to fuse them, to merge them, to have this incredible collision of the old me and the new me. And now I feel like I'm a new person, like a really new person, with the education, the enlightenment, the acceptance, the ability to let negativity go, combined with, my inspiration and my drive to express myself creatively. It's just been absolutely amazing. I guess I was feeling like there was an old me and then there was a new me, and I hadn't really considered the fact that I could fuse the two and create yet another new me. Understanding that the new me and the old me can collide in a really incredible explosion of new me has also helped me understand what was happening to me. I was unable to work. I was feeling like that aspect of my life was gone, destroyed, ruined, and I believed it was because of the gaslighting, because of the shaming, the humiliation, comments like you're too old, you're not good enough, you're stupid. I believed it was about the gaslighting, but I've also come to realize it was something else. It was a real heartfelt sadness. The fact that I loved this, I had expressed my love of art and creation and creativity to someone that I believed loved me and wanted to support me, only to realize that they were actually sabotaging me, that they actually hated this aspect of my life, that they were bitterly envious of this aspect of my life and they wanted to destroy it. Now, I've seen this, of course, with Trevor and this female stalker. So I guess I had a real sadness about that, someone I perceived to be, on my team was actually working against me. There was a lot going on, I think, emotionally that I hadn't yet recognized as far as taking the next step to restoring my career as, a creative person or as an artist. And I think it's bigger than just, our creative expression allowing us to kind of stand out. I think it also challenges a narcissist, emotional regulators, their level of envy, because we can take these creative expressions and we can find entrepreneurship in that. We can create income from that. We can become successful at that. We can launch home-based businesses and become even more independent. And this is the last thing a narcissist wants for us. In many ways, I felt like recovery was kind of occurring in baby steps, where now that I have been able to really pick up my creative stride, I feel like recovery is occurring in leaps and bounds. When you are not really living your life as you're intended to live it, and you are really living in the shadows of narcissistic abuse, when you really are accepting that you are now the product, a new person, a changed person, a product of narcissistic abuse, this to me was not being alive. Like I felt like I was in a holding pattern, like a time of exploration, education, trying to reconnect with, humanity, but not really alive. Or now I feel a whole different sense of connection to the world around me. I feel much more inspired by the things around me, and I feel much more ambitious and much more driven now. When I am completely locked on to design, to, colors, to shapes, to patterns, to creation, when my head is thinking creative thoughts, when I am producing things and my hands and my mind are busy with positive things, it just blows the negativity out. Like there's just only so much room in your life, in your spirit, in your head, and your soul. And when it is full of creative expression and inspiration and ambition, there's just no room for the negativity. There is no room to focus on what has happened. Like my focus now is so future driven. I feel like a completely new person. And again, it was almost like this hurdle. I was looking at it, for the last 2.5 years thinking, I'll never get my momentum up. I'll never be able to work again. That aspect of my life is over. What do I do now? Well, I reinvent myself. That's what I do. I bravely, I boldly take control of my life, and I do what I was meant to do. And yeah, even like with this move, like this was a big move. This took me off grid for, almost 10 days. But I know what I want now. Like I know what I want. I want to live downtown. I want to live a vibrant life. I want to be part of a very vibrant, very colorful art community here in Mexico. And it's been amazing for me because I'm out, I'm going into shops, I'm visiting with people. People are stopping me going, are you Kim Wilson? Do you remember me? Like I've left an impact. I actually have, over my lifetime, created a creative trail that people now recognize in me, and I want to restore that. And I just feel so ambitious, so alive right now, so grateful. I think losing my freedom has given me such an incredible sense of liberty and independence and real freedom now. And I don't know if I ever would have recognized the freedom I have today had I not lost it in the narcissistic abuse. I don't know that I would have this, heightened level of gratitude for my ability to express myself creatively had I not lost it. And I'm just finding throughout the healing process for me that recognizing these things has just, given me such an incredible sense of gratitude. And when your heart, when your mind, when your spirit, when your soul is absolutely bursting with gratitude, there's just no room for sadness and negativity. I've often made reference to the narcissistic relationship that I was in as being something that took away my creativity. But it was more than that. When you are truly a creative person, you don't just lose your creative vibe. You don't just lose the ability to make things. Those are all, kind of simple things to say, but it's so much more than that. It's a part of who you are. It's a part of your mindset. It's a part of what you're meant to do. It's a part of your passion, your love, your freedom of expression and creativity. And it truly is a very big part of who so many of us are. My entire life, I've been a creative person. I've supported myself, my family, my home through my creative endeavors. So I didn't just lose my creative stride. I was losing my ability to support myself, to, do the things I want to do in life, to be able to provide for my children. It was so much more than that. And getting that back has given me such an incredibly renewed sense of hopefulness. Now, I did mention in another video that I've had an opportunity to set up a pop-up store. Now, pop-up stores tend to be temporary. This one is permanent. I'm going to take you guys along every step of that journey with me, and hopefully, I hope that the things that I'm going to do to create that pop-up store are things you too can do to help restore your creativity, to help, reintroduce an entrepreneurial spirit in you, and to help you generate more income doing the things you love to do. It's been incredible. Of everything that I've done, of every step that I've taken, restoring the creative aspect of my life thus far after 2.5 years has been the biggest step towards recovery. And if you cannot just fly at it today, go for a walk. Look for inspiration. Look at things with new eyes. You don't need money to do that. All you need is a willingness to get out there, take a look around, and see where inspiration is for you today. I've always been what I would consider to be a fairly inspired person, but not like now. I mean, losing my creativity and now it coming back like this for me has inspired me in a whole different way, a whole heightened level. And I really encourage you to take those steps. Now, if you're a photographer, maybe your work has been photographing weddings or graduations. Maybe you're not ready to jump right back into that whole hustle bustle, but maybe today you can very simply go for a walk and look for some inspiration. We have a friend here at the channel, hi Deb, love you lots, who is really picking up her creative stride and doing great work as a photographer, and it's giving her an incredible sense of pride. She's having her photos framed and proudly hung in her home, and all of these things are spirit building, confidence building, soul building. So I really have come to understand in my life as a creative person, and I know many of you are creative people. I know many of you feel like your creativity was just ripped out of your soul. Well, you can get it back. I'm living proof of that. I encourage you to do something today, even if it is take a walk. Look at some images on Pinterest. I mean, do something to get yourself thinking again. Get yourself feeling like the creative person you once were, and know sure as shit that aspects of the old you and aspects of the new you can collide in incredible explosion of enlightenment, enriched ideas, new thoughts, new ideas, new inspiration, new ambition, new paths to careers and incomes. Guys, I love you lots. I'm really going to continue to push you guys down your creative path, because I know so many of you belong on a creative path and feel that you were robbed of that. I love you guys lots. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Puerto Vallarta, and the meetup's getting very close. I'm counting minutes now. You're watching Kim Wilson TV. I hope you guys are having a fabulous narc-free day.